Adrian in Texas.
I didn't say
it. Adrian, you're live with Eric and Dave. What would you like to talk about today?
Well, good afternoon. Yes, I'm honored to talk to both of you, Dave and Eric.
Aww.
And it's a pleasure. Today, I just wanted to talk about, I guess we'll get started with intelligent design, or I believe in a designer God because of the evidence that was left behind that we see around us everywhere,
Okay.
like, for instance,
Adrian,
DNA.
really quick. Adrian, before we dive in, I want to make sure that we're not talking past each other. What is evidence? What is your definition for evidence? I want to make sure that I understand.
Well, I guess the same as like in courtrooms, anything that makes it look like, you know, that person is guilty.
Okay.
So because the world is designed in a certain way, i.e. perfection or whatever, you then say that there has to be a designer behind it. Is that the premise?
Kind of. I just want to make it very clear that I'm not saying anything about perfection or anything like that. It's just it looks designed.
But if God is
and
perfect,
I don't think we have
God is perfect, wouldn't he design a perfect creation? I wouldn't understand why he would make it just kind of half. I'll do a half-ass job here.
I don't know if you're attacking a straw man there, because does God have to be perfect? I mean, where does it say that?
No, God can be a dick.
No, he can be, he can be kind of, well, the Bible says he's jealous and he gets angry, so I guess he's really not perfect at all. He's kind of like us.
Yeah, but
I just want to
really quickly evidence. So can I give you a definition of evidence for this conversation that might help here?
Sure, go ahead. I'm willing to listen.
I'm cribbing off of Aaron Ra here, and I know I'm going to say it incorrectly, but the way he says it is, it's a singular point of evidence. It is a singular point of data that points to one conclusion over another. Right. So if I were to, look into my alphabet soup and it says Eric is right, that's not good evidence. Right. And it definitely wouldn't determine whether or not other claims that I make in the future are correct. Right. So I know you're going to bring in what you call evidence. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be determining whether or not that evidence points towards one thing versus another, and how we can determine what it points towards. So what's your first piece of evidence?
Okay. Yes. There's lots of things that appear in nature that appear to be designed, but we could start off. I know you don't have a lot of time, so we can start off with DNA, since experts like Richard Dawkins have compared it to.
You know what? I'm just going to look it up.
Okay, hang on. Let me. Adrian, are you a Christian?
At this point, I don't think it matters. Right now, we're just trying to prove God first, and then we could get into like what religion God is, if that makes sense.
You just want to prove the point that there is a God, a designer.
Yes, sir. And then, like, we could go in and ask him like specific questions, like how hot of a burrito he could eat and things of that nature.
Spicy, my friend, spicy. Okay, so
we could ask him all sorts of weird questions after we conclude that there is a God, if that makes sense.
It does. And so let's start. First off, I have come across so many people who quote mined Richard Dawkins that when you bring it up, my immediate reaction is, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, honestly, either a thing is true or it's not, and it doesn't matter what Richard Dawkins says. Either it's true or it's not true. And I mean, I don't know where else we can go from there. I've got to tell you, Adrian, that personally affects me. The last conversation I ever had with my pastor, They told me that what was his name? Help me out here, Dave. Wheelchair. He came up with tons and tons
Stephen
of information.
Hawking.
Stephen Hawking. Thank you,
Yeah.
Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
That
Died of
Stephen
ALS.
Hawking
That's why I know.
got something wrong, and everybody laughed at him, which is why you shouldn't listen to him.
I'm not worried.
Right.
I'm not worried about being laughed at. Everybody laughs at.
No, we're not talking about that. You missed the point.
Adrian, yeah, you're missing the point. The point is whether or not somebody's laughed at, that doesn't mean that it's true or untrue. I don't give a crap.
All of us who claim to be atheists do not hang on Dawkins' every word. We don't hang on. We don't look at him as God or Jesus or anything. He's just a human like us, and he's disseminating information and doing the best he can. He may be right sometimes. He may be wrong sometimes, and I don't care.
But he did actually write a good book on this topic in particular, The Blind Watchmaker.
Mm-hmm.
So are you saying that because it's complex, it must have been designed? What is giving you the idea that that DNA was designed by an intelligent creator?
Yes, I will read The Watchmaker. I have read The Selfish Gene, though, and that's a good one, too.
Okay. So I'm asking you, and I hope you're answering and not just waiting your turn to talk. Does it being complex make it likely to have been intelligently designed? I'm trying to get at why you're saying this. Is it because it's complex?
No. Yeah, no. Not because it's complex. It's just because there's numerous things about it that make it appear to be designed.
Okay. So we can definitely investigate it. What does a designed thing look like versus an undesigned thing? Because if you're saying that there's the appearance of design, then we have to know what not designed looks like, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. Can
And
you give me an example of a thing that's not designed?
Right, and this might be circular or something, but it's something that wouldn't have as many things that make it appear to be designed.
Okay, so if a thing is not... Well, so yes, because you're using the word in the definition. But that's okay, because I still want to kind of pull us through here. Is there anything that exists that was not designed?
Yes.
Okay. If they were not designed, how did they get there?
Evolution, like changes that happen over time, and
Well, I'm glad that you think evolution is not designed. That's fantastic. But if that's not what you're saying, then you're not answering me. If something was not designed, how did it get there?
Evolution. Right.
Okay, so rocks evolved?
Well, they fell off of bigger rocks. I mean,
okay, cool. How did those bigger rocks get there? Let's drive it back, because you're saying they're not designed, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
They're
how did they
not
get there?
designed because, I mean, like the scientists say, the rocks
I don't care
all
about the scientists. I'm asking you,
together.
how did the rocks get there?
You would say that the designer designed the earth and the rocks are part of the earth, right?
So rocks would be designed by your viewpoint, I'm thinking, unless...
That's what my assumption would be.
Yeah.
Yes, there had to be a mass, I guess, the density of the Earth, so that we can have the gravity that we have, so that the gravity is not as strong here.
Well, I mean, I understand we're talking about forces now, but I really want to ask, how did the rocks get there? I mean, basically, what I'm trying to get down to the point is, if DNA was created by an intelligent designer, right? And I'm going to give that a name, God. Okay? So if DNA was created by God, is there anything that was not created by God? You said yes. I asked you, were rocks created by God? Were rocks intelligently designed? You said no. I said, so how did they get there?
You want to know how rocks are made? That's
Well,
what you're
I want to know how rocks are in existence if they weren't put there by God. I'm asking you to flesh out your view on intelligent design, because you're saying that something has the appearance that it was intelligently designed. But if your worldview is such that there is nothing in existence that wasn't intelligently designed, then you don't have anything to stand on because you can't compare it to anything.
No, I don't think I should. I don't think I should that. No.
Okay, so help me here. Clarify, please. Were rocks intelligently designed?
I don't know. Like, as far as I can tell, no. Like, we could take it all the way back to where maybe they were created by a designer somewhere, but
Okay.
as far as right now, I
Ooh, no, I like your distinction there, Adrian. Hold on, let's go down there. Okay, you said it in a way that's working for you, so I'm going to pick that up. Maybe at some point it was created by an intelligent designer. Is there anything in existence that was not created by an intelligent designer?
anything in existence? I don't know. I don't know. Like they could have, like, you say that trees are alive, and like we know that they're, like, we don't know if they have thoughts and
yeah, but I mean,
you know.
But hold on. I really don't want to muddy the water here. Whether or not something's conscious doesn't get back to whether or not a thing was intelligently designed. I love the I don't know answer, because I think that shows a lot of integrity on your part. It is hard to say I don't know, especially coming from, the religious background that I came from. Saying I don't know is something that you got made fun of for. Right?
I say I don't know all the time.
That's awesome. So if you don't know what is and isn't designed, then how are you making the claim that something has the appearance of design? You have to know what you're comparing it to before you can make the comparison.
Well, it's got to have at least 5 things that make it appear to be designed. So if you're saying that rocks appear to be designed, then that's proof that you're going to have to back up.
I don't know what that
means.
No.
I'm asking you to give us an example of something we can compare it to. Because if we have nothing to compare it to, then you're just talking at us. I don't understand. You're saying that there's something with the appearance of design. And so I'm asking you to give me something undesigned to compare it against. I'm not making the claim. I'm just trying to follow down the road that you're giving. I'm meeting you where you're at. You're saying this thing was intelligently designed. And so I'm trying to find if there's anything in your worldview that isn't.
Yes, but the example of rocks. I gave you that example, and then I showed you how there's nothing about a rock that appears to be designed. And then I asked you to give me anything. What do you think about a rock that appears to be designed? I don't think there's anything.
No. I don't either. But I think you're having some cognitive dissonance and having conflicting thoughts that are not working well together, or I'm misunderstanding you. Because I liked the way you put it earlier. Maybe that helped. Maybe it was put into place or brought into existence by an intelligent designer. And my understanding is that your view is everything was created by an intelligent designer. Am I wrong?
Okay.
Is it your view that everything was created by an intelligent designer?
It has to have at least 5 things that appear to be designed about it.
Hold on.
I don't know how else to make that.
Was everything in existence created by an intelligent designer?
Well, it depends on the evidence for that thing that you're talking about. So, like the thing that we're talking about, you wanted.
There are things that are in existence. There are things that are in existence that were not created by an intelligent designer. So
yes, I don't know.
Okay, so how did they get there? Because if we got our example of rocks, that means that if you were to zoom back to whenever you think the creation happened, there was God and rocks, because the God didn't create them, right? What else was there? I don't think that we can do that. I think that you do believe that it was created.
There's nothing about a rock that I think looks designed about a rock. So
Okay, so how did it get there?
That's why.
I mean, I'm totally happy taking the viewpoint that there are things that God created and there are things that God didn't create. Now, the question there is, how do we determine whether or not something was created by God? And ultimately, once you get to the point of saying something does not have to have been created by God, it becomes infinitely unlikely that God created anything.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, people don't have to die of murder either. But if like murder is not necessary for death, right? But if there's evidence that points to somebody being a murderer, then why would you say that you don't know?
Because
right?
if you can't tell the difference between murder and not murder, then you should not be making an evaluation about whether or not murder occurred.
It has to have things about it that appear to be murder, right?
How can you make a determination that something appears to be anything if you don't have anything to compare it against? Maybe I'm talking past you. Maybe I'm making a straw man. Hold on. Can I clarify? So let's be super clear. I'm going on the assumption that you think that everything was created by this God, that everything in existence was poofed into existence by that deity. If your viewpoint is that there's a chance that maybe other things existed and that God just happened to cross them, there was God and rocks. Heck, even in Genesis, it says, in the beginning, God stood upon the surface of the water. So God, rocks and water. I mean, if you're going with that, then I'm talking past you, and I apologize. But if you're not, then help me here, please. Can you clarify?
Yeah, I will help you. Yes, you're attacking a straw man there because I never brought up the Bible. I don't even know why you brought up the Bible. I don't know how you know that I believe everything that's in the Bible is true. And and then also, no, I don't.
Okay. Fair enough, because it's my point of reference, and we definitely bring a lot of the baggage that we had.
He was making an example using the Bible. He wasn't inferring that you believe the Bible.
And you know what? Actually, the way I communicated it was very poorly, so I apologize. So Adrian, you are. I was attacking a straw man. You're saying that there are things that were not created by God. That at the very least, we know that there was God and rocks that were not created by God. So now we can compare them, right?
Yes, you can look at things that are designed or things that aren't designed and pick out the things that appear to be designed about it. And then if there's a number of things, that appear to be designed about this thing, then I think it's safe to say that it is designed.
Okay. So far in the bucket of things that are designed and not designed, we've got rocks and everything else. So could I say if a thing is not a rock, it was designed?
The thing, well, it depends on what that thing is that you're talking about.
Not a rock.
Like what else? What else?
Anything else?
Thinking about
anything.
Anything but a rock.
Like a car?
It could be.
How about a human being? How about a person?
Sure. Or it could be I'm cupping water in my hands. Both of those things are not rocks.
Okay, which one do you want to go with? Cup of water or what was yours, Dave? Let's go with Dave since
a human being.
Okay.
A human being. Are we designed?
A human. Okay, so here's how you do it, Dave. Here's how your logic should work: is what about a human appears to be designed?
And then you tell me, you're the one that has the criterion for design. You've got 5 things that I'm curious what they are, but you keep saying 5 things that have to be.
I keep cutting them off on the 5 things.
Yeah, well, I don't know where you got the 5 things that have to be a part of something being evidence for design, but I'm asking you, are we as human beings designed by an intelligent designer? Because that's what matters.
Yes, I'm walking you.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Yes, sir. I'm walking you through it. if you want the fast answer, yes. There's numerous things about a human that appear to be designed. So, I mean, that's the fast answer. And then I was going to walk you through the numerous things about a human that appear to be designed. And
Okay.
So for the sake of time, let's cut to the chase. For me, because I'm having a hard,
2:30. Yeah.
I'm having a hard time following.
I know you.
What this. Here's a bigger question for me, Adrian. Why does it matter? Let me give you this, and Eric made I want to do this because he's a better debater and things. He's more knowledgeable in these areas than I am, but I'm a simple man, and my question to you is: let me give you that argument. We have an intelligent designer. He, it, they, she, them created the world, human beings, whatever you want to say they created. There is an intelligent designer. Let's call it God. Like you said, we can argue about which God later, not in this show because we're running out of time, but let's give you there is an intelligent designer. So what? I see no evidence anywhere in the world that this intelligent designer is active and involved with his creation. So what does it matter?
Well, I mean, maybe it could be involved in some people, but
I don't see any evidence
of that. The truth, though, Dave?
I honestly, about whether there's a designer or not, no, I don't, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me how we got here, because honestly, we don't know. Let's just be real. We don't know.
Where do you draw the line?
And I'm asking you, what difference does it make?
Where do you draw the line on what you want to know the truth about and what you don't want to know the truth about, Dave?
I just told you, Adrian, I don't give a shit how we got here. I'm concerned with, show me the evidence that there's a God, a deity, an intelligent designer anywhere doing anything in the world for anyone. And I don't think you can. Now, you claim to have truth that I should want to know, and you're implying that I don't want to know the truth, and that's rather offensive. I'm just telling you I'm more interested in things that matter in the day-to-day living of human beings that I encounter every day, and myself included. And I don't see a God anywhere doing anything for anyone. So you can tell me all day that you've got the truth about how we got created and who the intelligent designer is. You can say all day that you've got the truth to that. I don't think you can back up those claims with evidence enough. We don't have enough time in this show or all the rest of the shows today for that to happen. But my question to you is simple. Let me give you that. There's an intelligent designer. Now what? Big deal.
Yes, you don't have time for the truth.
No,
I'm asking you a question.
Other people,
I'm giving you your point. There is an intelligent designer, whoever you want that to be. I'm giving you that. Now, so what?
So you know the truth now.
What do I do with it now, Adrian? What do I do with it? How does it help me? How does it help me get through my day? How does it help me make the world a better place? How does it help me deal with COVID? How does it help me in any way? There was an intelligent designer. Big fucking deal.
Well, it just shows that there was something, there was a purpose to this, all of this. And
what's that purpose?
It may not have been.
I don't.
It may not have been perfect. You know.
I don't see the purpose. I see suffering and pain and hate and greed and jealousy. I don't see the purpose in some intelligent designer.
And it makes it possible that there's an afterlife.
No, it doesn't.
It does not at all. That's a huge leap.
Yeah. Essentially, if you were to
afterlife, you have 70 virgins, or are you going to be with Jesus? Which afterlife are you picking?
And ultimately, the point there is, if you were granted this creative being, then the only qualities it has is that it can create universes.
Yeah, it spun a top out in the universe, and the top's been spinning ever since, and we're on our own. So figure it out, people. That's all I see. So it doesn't get us to the. It doesn't get us to eternal life.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? Was it Family Guy who had God light a fart during a bender and create the universe? Is that purpose? Does anything created in that have purpose? If that was how it happened?
No, but I mean, it gets you to
So
somewhere.
you can have, hold on,
someone that
that's important. So you can have creation without purpose. Oh, so how are you concluding there's purpose because something was created? It sounds like there's a lot of stuff that you're shoehorning in.
There's a lot of gaps that you're filling with God. And you kind of dodged the question about if I asked you a Christian, but if I asked you if you're a Christian, but when you came to me giving you a creative designer, then you jumped to eternal life because there's a purpose. And I don't know which eternal life you're assuming there is, but you could tell me if you wanted to, but there are many eternal lives given to the many religions that exist in the world today. So which one are you talking about that we have proof of?
Oh, anything you want. Like if there's
I want 70 virgins.
A heaven or a
Yeah, I'm
a heaven or hell. Anything would fall under the category of something rather than nothing. And I'm happy either way. I hope you are. But
no, I don't
ready
need
for
eternal life. I don't need eternity. I don't know if you know my story, but I'm an atheist who used to be a Christian, and I was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease a little over a year ago, and I've been given 3 to 5 years to live. And I don't need an afterlife.
Yes,
I'm soaking up this life, and this life is plenty good enough. And I don't have to create a story that gives me an eternal life.
But are you prepared for if there is one?
I'm prepared for whatever.
Like, are you ready for?
Are
you ready for that? Like,
I'm totally ready for anything, Adrian. I hope you are too. I don't need fairy tale stories to try to make me feel better about what happens after I die. I'm completely fine with not knowing. Because the reality is, Adrian, none of us on this show knows what happens after we die. None of us.
Yeah, we're all agnostic, whether you like it or not, right?
That's right. And I don't need to make up a story to make me feel better.
Right. We're not making up anything. We're going by the evidence.
No,
there's no making.
Yeah,
I disagree.
There are so many pieces there. I don't even know where to pick up.
I don't even know where to start with all that. No.
Adrian, if you want to call back and talk about are you prepared for the afterlife, you can, because it feels like thuggery. It feels like that God would say, well, this is a really nice house. I'd hate to see it burn down.
Hate to see something happen to your family there, buddy.
Yeah. But regardless, that's entirely aside. Dave, Adrian, I think
backing another straw man.
Oh,
you said, are you prepared for an afterlife? Is that not what you meant?
No.
Oh, okay.
I said, are you ready for it either way? I'm ready for it either way. If there's nothing, I'm ready for that. Yeah, I'm ready for that. But if there's something, I'm going to be in
the book of Eric.
I want to make sure.
All right.
All right.
Call back. Take it easy.
Preaching. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to preach it.
No, that's all right.
That's okay. We all got a little
used to it. I'm used to it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Pascal's wager.
Yeah, and really, honestly, Pascal, look at Pascal's wager. That'll get you there. You were talking about design when we got off base, and you said that things have to meet 5 criteria for it to be designed, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to take those and apply them to a rock. What's number 1?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'm sorry I diverted us from this question of design, but now we can get back to that.
What's number 1?
Sorry, go ahead.
What's number 1? You said it needs to meet 5 things to be designed. What's number 1?
Well, it depends what you're talking about. Like if for a car, I guess
no, it doesn't.
Adrian, you've told us several times.
5 criteria for something to be designed.
Adrian, you've told us several times that there are 5 criterion to designate something as having being being designed by a creator, what are the 5? Just tell it. Just what are the 5 things you keep referencing?
Yeah, let's start with number 1. What's number 1?
One at a time.
Oh, we're talking about the Earth. Then it's going to be the tilt of the Earth, the distance that the Earth is from the sun, the magnetic field, the ozone layer, the
Are any of those things a rock?
The Earth is.
Are any of those things a rock? So if I pick up a rock outside, is it the Earth? Are we talking about, what are we talking about? Are those the 5 things?
Those are at least 5 things that make the Earth appear to be designed. So it just depends on what
I'm
you're talking about.
The general, what 5 things, what are the criteria for something to count as designed?
So like, for example, I wouldn't say that the universe is designed because I don't have at least 5 things that I could say make the universe appear to be designed, but I do have at least 5 things that make this solar system that we're in appear to be designed. This planet that we're on appear to be designed. The moon that we have appears to be designed.
Okay, so hold on. You have to have 5 things for something to count as, okay. I'll give you one because it's my kryptonite, the moon. How does the moon appear to be designed?
The moon appears to be designed because it makes the tilt of the Earth the way it is, and it gives us our 4 seasons.
Okay, hold on.
And also,
that's how gravity works and how physics works. You're talking about things that we understand. There's no magical claim needed, and there's no design needed. You're just describing shit that exists. So no, I reject the first one. Let's go to the second.
And there's some experts now that are thinking that there's parts of the moon that are hollow.
There are experts who think that if you sun your asshole, you will be able to get nutrients for the day. Do you think the moon is hollow?
Also, the best thing about the moon was the rotation of it. It was spinning faster before.
Adrian, wait. You just brought up the hollow moon. How am I not going to talk about this? Okay. So if the moon is hollow, it's created, and if it's not hollow, it's not created?
That's just what some people are saying, and we don't know
what some people are saying.
The moon.
Back up your point. Why did you bring up it being hollow? Does that mean that we have created and not created? Or are you giving me a red herring?
Yeah, that's just something that makes it appear to be designed. And then I'm going on to the numerous things that appear.
Hold on. Be consistent. So if it's not hollow, it was not designed. Is that correct?
It's not hollow. It was not designed.
Yes. Otherwise, you're picking and choosing. And you're going, that sounds good. That might be an appearance, but there's nothing to the contrary. There's no way to prove myself.
Some people say you can inject disinfectant into your body and treat COVID. Some people say all kinds of things. You can't go by what some people say.
Yeah, you made a claim. Some people say the moon is hollow. The claim was your response to, was the moon created? And so that must mean that you think that it's created because it's hollow. And if it's not hollow, it must not have been created, correct?
It's because we don't know what's inside of it. So there could be like electronic things in there. Who knows?
Okay, cool. So we don't know can be evidence of things?
No.
Okay, so why are you using it as evidence?
The rotation of the moon slowed down.
No, stop.
Where it's at now.
No, stop. You're talking about the hollow moon here. Don't tell me about rotation. You were talking about the hollow moon. You said that either it's hollow and designed, or it's not hollow and it's not designed. Am I making a straw man, or is that what you're saying?
Yes, you're making a straw man because I'm talking about the rotation.
Designed either way?
Well, why'd you bring up the hollow part if you're just talking about why'd you even bring up the hollow part of the moon? What's that have to do with anything?
Because if it was designed either way, then that's a red herring, and you're wasting my time.
Diverting.
And Dave's time.
It has to do with the rotation of the Earth, and that's what I was getting to. I mean, I don't know why you wanted that.
You brought up hollow moon. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
So we're talking about creation, and instead of giving me 5 things that show a thing was created, he said, no. Everything just has different reasons why we can show it's created.
Yeah.
Okay, so you still haven't given us any way to determine created from not created. You just pushed the ball down the road, and now we're just chasing your goalposts wherever we go. And I'm sick and tired.
Oh, I've been, long time,
I mean,
time
Dave
ago.
granted you that there's a creator God just to see what happens, and you sat there like the dog who finally caught the car.
Yeah. You don't want to know the truth. You can't handle the truth. I don't know.
You don't know is not good evidence. If you want to say that something's created, compare it against something that's not created. I mean, these should be obvious. Some people say it's hollow and gravity or something isn't good evidence
Let's
for.
move on to the road.
No, let's not.
really
I think
the
you're
best
wasting my
evidence.
time.
Yeah.
Come up with actual evidence instead of whataboutisms. Because until you get there, you're wasting my time and you're wasting Dave's. Bye.
Best evidence.
Okay.
Thank you. My God, I was about to bang my head against the desk here.
No worries.
Is
Anyway.
there something I don't know about rules for evidence for design? Is there a 5-thing rule I didn't know about? I don't know what that means.
Honestly, it's something that I came across.
Okay.
When
I wondered if there was something there. I don't know.
No. There's nothing there. It's something I came across when I was looking for where God was, when I thought there had to be a God. And what that thing was a whole lot of people who never answered questions. They just kept shooting along different assertions without having to provide evidence for
Well, I
anything.
just didn't know if there's somebody somewhere had come up with this rule that it has to meet 5 criteria in order to be designed. I don't know. That didn't make any sense to me. Why not 7? I mean, why not 15? I don't know.
Yeah.
He was annoying.
But
anyway.
It definitely seemed like he was more interested in more whataboutisms than actually. So
you gave him a lot of time, bro.
Yeah.
You're way more patient than me.